other stations. I'll have these guys model a couple of things here in just a minute, but I'll just sort of start here. From an infield standpoint and from a defensive standpoint overall, we talk a lot about being aggressive, and I think this is particularly important for younger kids, right? Wanting the baseball. Basically, every kid who has ever played the game, other than maybe some of the special ones, has had a mental leap to get over at some point about being afraid of the ball. Whether that happened when they were 7, sometimes it surfaces when they're 12, sometimes it's some other time, but we want the baseball. We don't ever say you, or tell somebody else that they're making the play. We tell all of our position players, even pitchers and catchers, right, where it's supposed to kind of get called off for different plays, we want the baseball until somebody who is above you on the priority list calls you off. So that's just kind of a mentality thing that I believe in strongly. You've got to try to build it into them to want the baseball, to want to make the play. That for me is partnered with a coaching style that allows for some failure. You've got to allow them to make some mistakes, whether it's in practices, whether it's in games, in order for them to be comfortable wanting the baseball. And if you're overcoaching mistakes or yelling at them for errors or whatever it might be, you're going to end up coaching that attitude out of them. That's how you get kids who want to see the guy next to them make the play instead. So I know that we want to win. I know that it gets emotional. That's something that I think is critical for me, especially for young players and young infielders especially. So I'll just kind of start from the beginning in terms of infield positioning and so forth, ready position. One tool that we use on occasion with some of our high school guys is we have them literally draw a bit of a circle in the dirt where they're going to be positioned. And this is easier for first and third basemen than it is for middle infielders, but they can draw a bigger one or just know that it has to move. And one of the purposes for that is that's my mental lock-in zone. And so if in between pitches I need to move around, if I need to adjust my glove, if I've got to sort of give myself a mental break, as soon as I step back into that circle, and that's where I'm ready to go. That's my sort of zone where I'm back focused on what is going to happen on this pitch right here. As we have our guys step into that zone for their ready position. And in terms of talking about ready position, when should you be there? You don't have to be there all the time. If your kids are at the age level where they're always working out of the windup, as soon as that pitcher gets into this position right here, that's the time where you should be in your ready position. And if you have a guy that's working in the stretch, as soon as he comes up to his set, that's when I, as an infielder, should be in my ready position right here. My ready position needs to be both athletic and comfortable. And so in terms of where I like to be, I've always got my palm facing home plate and with my glove open like this, mostly down, and my eyes are not necessarily following the pitcher unless I'm responsible for pickoff responsibilities, but I might be watching him out of the corner of my eye where my body is mostly oriented towards the plate. And again, kind of in a position like a linebacker. If I'm going to try to hit somebody, that's about the position that I want to be in, and not too wide where I'm weak, not too narrow where I'm standing up, a little bit outside, shoulder width apart, and with my hand in front. And this hand over here can just be right offside my glove, kind of right around here. Again, a position where a guy is comfortable in terms of getting ready. As we're fielding the baseball, I'll have these guys demo in some rollers here in just a moment. But I want to field that ball. The biggest thing in terms of young players, I want to be able to field that ball out in front of me as much as possible. And I'm talking about a routine ground ball here. We all know that there are plays where we're just trying to get to the baseball. And this, we're not discussing those situations. We're talking about the one that I can line up. And in terms of my positioning, again, I've got my palm facing forward so that I've got my hand just kind of relaxed up on top, and then I've got my head down. But the biggest thing is I don't want to field the ball back here. And you'll get a lot of young kids that want to field the ball back behind their heels, and we're trying to get that thing out here as much as we can. And in terms of approach, and this is what we'll spend most of our time on with the roller drills, that you want to teach your kids to try to line the baseball up. If I'm a right-handed thrower, which a lot of your infielders will be, using my left eye. And so if I'm a third baseman and I get a ground ball that's right at me, and I may use just a little bit of a drop step to get slightly outside of it, I'm going to line it up with my left eye so that I can take a right-left field into it and a right-left throw, and I'm working towards first base. And with everything that we do, as much as we possibly can, we want to work from behind the baseball, through the baseball, towards first base. And I set myself in the direction that I want to be able to throw the ball. Obviously, if I'm turning a double play, I'm still using my left eye to line it up, still going right, left field, but then my footwork is just going in this direction instead. Okay? We're going to have these guys just demo a few roller drills just kind of from the beginning to be able to show you sort of what we've got going on. You'll actually need this, Jack. Maybe exactly the skill of the ball. Okay. Let's shorten it up just a little bit. Why don't you guys go on that green line? And we're just going to start with some basic rollers in which they'll be just kind of in that fielding position. We're not even going to move their feet. They're just going to be going back and forth. And they'll stay in that sort of routine fielding position. And stretching for a couple of guys here. You can see Zach's got his catcher's mitt on. He's mostly here to demonstrate catching for you today, so we appreciate him being flexible. Go ahead, guys. We're just going back and forth. Okay. So now we go back to the other guy. Biggest thing on these rollers, as we're working on our glove and hand positioning, fielding position, that's very basic. You don't have to do this every day. You do, though, so nobody's above it. All right, why don't you keep going, guys, and now we will work in your right-left field footwork. Okay, so you can back up a step if you want. Okay, so now they'll work their footwork just a bit and try to line that roller up with their left eye. All of them are right-handed throwers, so they're going right-left field into the ball. Left-handed fielders would go left-right field. Because it's habit for them and they can't really not do it, they've integrated their first two steps of throwing footwork into it as well. And that would be the next step into the progression. At right, left field, and then right, left throw. And things to hit home here again, fielding the ball out front of our body. And not fielding it back behind our heels. The other thing to watch with their feet is that none of them, when they're getting themselves ready to throw, want to be working a step behind into their throw. And in terms of our throwing footwork, if I'm working through here, I always either want to go a little bit in front or almost just replace the feet of a click of the heels. And what we want to stay away from is swinging back out this way, okay? Because that's taking me off line, taking me off direction from where I want to go. Okay, guys, that's good enough for that. Real quick thing about hops. Okay, good instinctive infielders figure out how to line themselves up for hops. This is a really difficult thing to teach. I wouldn't bother necessarily trying to come up with some kind of practice strategy for it, but you can talk about it with your infielders. Infielders that play for a while usually have just sort of an innate ability to line themselves up for what would be called the good hop. And there's no necessarily perfect hop on every ground ball. Like we can't always plan on the second or the third one or something like that. But guys want to find either a short or a long hop in order to field the ball on. And the in-between hop is the one we want to stay away from. So what we're kind of simulating for the most part works with a short hop, okay, where you're kind of working your glove through the ball, not quite to pick it, but you're getting that glove through fielding the baseball. And that's if you're fielding the ball on a short hop, we're getting that glove through it. And if you were to be fielding the ball on a longer hop, you'd be a little bit more up front, and you'd be funneling it up into your body. Okay, so it's either a work through on the short hop or a funnel on the long hop. Again, the in-between hop is tough because neither one of those things works very well. You're just kind of trying to hang with it. Usually you're going to end up in more of a funnel position and try to make sure that you can gather it. Okay? But short hops and long hops. Those apply to really all four positions in the infield. You can do rollers working on balls going any direction. You can have them rolling balls taking backhands. You can have the rollers going to the forehands. These are great indoor practice things to do. These are great early season practice things to do outside as well. You can do them on dirt. You can do them on grass. You can do them directly with the kids to start and teach them how to do them themselves. And this is something eventually that they can and should be able to figure out how to do on their own. Did want to talk just a little bit. Another good early season kind of indoor thing to do is around double play flips. Let's see, Amy, you got a ball? So we'll also do these on a regular basis with our middle infielders. This is just kind of a basic four-corner drill that these guys will show you here in a second. This will actually make them sweat a little bit because there's only 4 of them. But if you have more kids, it's a little bit easier. So real quick before we get to the drill, just a little bit on flips from the double plays. Okay, so I'm a shortstop here first. Okay, if I'm shortstop, second base is going to be this direction. Okay, so again, routine ground ball. I'm still working off my left eye, right, left field. And then all I need to do is open up with this left foot. Make sure I clear my glove. Good underhand flip that I'm going to try to follow just to make sure I've got good momentum. And that's on a ball that's at me or to my left, right? Taking me towards the base. And fielding through, gather my feet, clear my glove. There I go. If I've got to go to the backhand as a shortstop, and just kind of setting my feet on a little drop step, then I'm going to have to go overhand. Okay? Anything to that side. Second baseman, and the easiest one for the young guys. Okay? If it's taking you towards the base, still need to field right, left field. Just open up. Okay, good underhand flip coming this direction. Again, clearing the glove is a big deal. Okay, your receiver's got to be able to see the baseball. Okay, so right, left field, just open it up with a good underhand. And we won't talk about the overhand ones. If I got to go this way as a second baseman, it's a little bit tougher play. Okay, right, left, just drop back, okay, and go overhand. Okay, so either way, if I'm getting taken away from the base, and my footwork is just going to be a little drop step and a mostly overhand throw. If I'm on the second base side and I've got to go this direction, I'm just opening up over that way. And the four corners will work on your basic flips. Okay, so Aiden, Joey's got the ball. Joey, you want to start it? Okay. So we'll do the shortstop flip first. Okay, so they're going to follow their flip around in the square. And as I mentioned, this might make you sweat a little bit because there's only 4 of them. We need 5, don't we? Okay, so things to work on here. Make sure we're clearing the glove. And we want that flip to end up somewhere between the belt and the chest. Okay, right in there. So then we can also go the other direction. That'll be the second baseman flip. Okay, so now you'll see us open up with our right foot and just give a good underhand flip. And going to who would be the shortstop. Location of the flip again. We want it in that same spot and between belt and chest. All right, go ahead and hold the jack. So that's a couple of just quick basics. We talked about being aggressive with the baseball. Often that shows up mostly on balls in the air, not necessarily as much on balls on the ground. Just so you guys know what we use in the high school program, we're always mine for calling the ball, rather than some guys will do ball. That's fine. There's no wrong answer. We just try to keep it uniform at the high school level so they know what they're listening for. So of course, in terms of priority, we want our shortstops typically fielding as much as they're able to. We want the guy who's moving towards first base fielding the ball as much as he's able to. So even though we like the shortstop, if there's a ball to his right that our third baseman can cut off, we want him going to get it. Other than that, middle infielders are kind of in control, kind of in charge. They can call off the corner guys. Corner guys can call off the pitchers and catchers. That's kind of our priority for the most part. I have gone for a long time. I said hold the Q&A until the end, but I'll at least stop here, especially for the infield portion. Obviously,